PCOS is universal. It doesn't spare anyone. Being a doctor doesn't mean we are immune to disorders, and being a Vaidya doesn't mean we always live an ideal, perfect lifestyle. This is the story of a junk eating Vaidya and how PCOS scared the hell out of me. Everything started when I joined a hostel, far away from home. There was no one to keep me in check about my habits. And when you are away from home, parents are extra generous. The same parents who didn't allow you to eat more than a 10 rupee chocolate but now will suggest you to eat everything your eyes catch. Now, they are not concerned about your health. They are just concerned about whether you are eating or not. That's it. I developed great habits. Soon, I became a lover of packed junk and junk in general. Chips, samosas, puffs, burgers, pizzas, baked, fried, roadside, you name it, I had it. As for toppings, I was always a sweet lover. Chocolates, ice creams, kaju katli, son papdi, peta, always available, and my stomach somehow always had space for dessert. There was no one to stop me. In college, I studied Svastavritta. After I reached the hostel, I practiced the exact opposite. Because books are meant to be read and life is meant to be enjoyed, right? And hostel food? Now, tell me, can you blame me? Can anyone eat hostel food? At the beginning, there was no Zomato. We managed to eat fried rice and similar food. Then came Zomato and Swiggy with their offers. Everything changed. Biryani was now within budget. I had biryani almost every other day. Mobiles became smartphones. Facebook and WhatsApp were new. Because I got first rank in my first year, my dad bought me a laptop. You can imagine my sleep condition now. Torrents were there. My room became my friend's Ada. Every night we watched movies till 1 o'clock and then we spoke about them till 2 o'clock. In the morning, as usual, I woke up around 8:30 or 9, late to college, so let's skip the breakfast. This was my routine. Soon, I started ballooning. I didn't bother at start, but yes, my cycles became irregular. Because I always had long cycles around 40 days, it took time for me to realize it. After 1 or 2 years of irregular cycles, I went to our Prasuti department. I got my USG done. It revealed PCOS. At the start, I wasn't worried at all because, hey, I am a Vaidya ma. I imagined Ayurveda could scare it and make it run away in a snap. So, I worried less about PCOS and more about increasing weight. Because at that age, how we look mattered more than what we are dealing with inside. I wanted to change my lifestyle. Not food but exercise because dieting felt impossible at the point. By the time my body was too deep into cravings, eating chocolate at 3 a.m. felt normal. For a random person, it's easy to say you should control your eating. But those who struggle with PCOS know it's not only difficult but it feels impossible. So, exercising felt easier. Yoga. I studied it. I knew it would help, but I was skeptical because yoga felt easy. I was confused whether yoga could help me because it didn't feel demanding. I wanted the best workout that could make my breathless. I wasted almost 6 months trying to find the best workout because who will procrastinate if it's not me? After 6 months, my cycle became more rigid. It had been 6 months since my period showed up. That is when I understood where I stood in this war between me and PCOS. It felt like I was sleeping in the battlefield and PCOS had already started breaching my compound wall. Neither my sleep was right nor my food habits. Don't ask me about exercise and lifestyle. No timings and nothing. My rank went from first to second last in my final year of BMS. And I was still figuring out what workout to choose. Then I genuinely woke up when my gut failed. I developed constipation. That morning was a wake-up call. It was the second yoga day our nation was celebrating. Around 4 a.m., I exercised for the first time in my life. That year, it was at Gachibowli Stadium. I not only participated eagerly in that program, but I also brought yoga into my life. Miraculously, within a week, I got my period back. Still unclear whether it's because of yoga or my body was done playing hide and seek, but it felt like it was because of yoga. I continued for some time, then I dropped off. Every time my period didn't show up, I did yoga and bam, it was back. Many bodies doesn't work this way, but my body did. Slowly, yoga became transactional. I think at this point, my PCOS understood my behavior better. My PCOS gained power. Like antibiotic resistance, it became immune to my just for period yoga. This time, it didn't respond. Strategy. Truth spoken, even though I was about to become a doctor, I hated medicines. I lacked the discipline to take them on time. I believed that before going to medicines, I needed to work on my body first. I didn't want weapons to fight PCOS, at least not so soon. I wanted a strategy, not motivation. Consistency. I understood the real problem. A fixed routine is mandatory to keep myself disciplined without confusion. Even if it doesn't give expected results, I wanted a foolproof routine to show up every day. So I decided on one rule: move your body daily. Workout days, not workout days, busy days, no excuses. Even if it is just for 2 minutes. Pre workout, stretching, strength training, cardio, post workout, it felt impossible, trust me. So I kept it simple. One cycle of Surya Namaskara as slow stretching, push-ups for upper body, squats for lower body, plank for core, Pavanamuktasana, Bhujangasana, Dharunarasana for PCOS. At last, 1 to 2 cycles of dynamic Surya Namaskar for cardio, Shavasana as cool down. Only if I felt motivated, I did pranayama and dhyana very rarely. That's it. Hardly 10 minutes a day. Not very sweaty, simple routine. And it satisfied me because I clearly studied what served which purpose. What comes next? Now that I was consistent, I knew I had to do something about my diet, especially because I was a hostler, sources were slim to none, and support system was brutally none. Away from family, I was the only one who had to fight this. Friends can help with motivation, but the decision of what to follow is always in our hands. So, my next video is me versus PCOS and the hostel. This is how my journey started. I am someone exactly like you. I think like you. I behave like you. I am flawed, like I just have a little iron knowledge. Just one step ahead. My vision is not to spoon feed you, but to enlighten you and make you capable of taking your own decisions. Because PCOS is not just tabletering. It's a long battle, sometimes exhausting, but trust me, if you love challenges, you will love this journey. PCOS is a worthy enemy. It can change your life in a good way if your choices are right, or in a bad way if you give in. And with me beside you, trust me, you will love these challenges. I am Dr. Inaya signing off. I will meet you in my next video. Me versus PCOS and the hostel. Take care, Ayur Seekers.
And hey, don't forget to check out my book on PCOS diet essentials and the products.